Thanks for checking out In the News with Franky and Roshell, bringing you celebrity news, interviews, community focus, and more. Now, today, I am super amped to have a sit down, with a gentleman that was a part of my childhood, and he was also a father figure on television. Now, we're going to take it just a step even further just to show you how he impacted the lives of people. People like my parents, people may recognize his face from iconic television roles and being a part of a comedic television classic that was based on the life of a radio personality. Now, joining me on In the News from Richmond, Virginia, I would like to welcome a legend in television and more. Now, many know this man as Venus Flytrap on WKRP in Cincinnati. He also played Ray Campbell on Sister Sister with the iconic Tia and Tamara and more. Live on my line right now, I have Tim Reid on In the News. Mr. Tim Reid, thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm blessed, thank you.
Now, Tim, of course, you have an iconic resume, and that is the reason for you stopping by today. Now, TV One has recognized your accomplishments in the world of Hollywood, and tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, they are highlighting your career on Unsung Hollywood. What was your reaction when you heard that TV One wanted to profile your life and your career?
I went, God, I'm getting old. Because usually when they start doing that, you are around the bend on the downside of the mountain. And I was like, well, it's kind of interesting. They must have run out of celebrities. But here I am. It was a wonderful experience. I probably revealed more than I should have. But, it's out there now. I saw it. They did a wonderful job. It's a good production. I'm proud of how they did it.
Now, with Unsung Hollywood, it is known for lifting the curtain on the lives of professionals like yourself. And many people see your accomplishments today, but they may not understand the journey. What are some of the things that you love about how TV One tells your story?
Well, what I was, it was a lot of interviewing. I mean, there's more stuff that couldn't make the cut, but I like the way they made the journey. They laid the journey out. The arc of the journey was well done. I mean, they start out in the early part of my life, basically from the beginning, and they tell enough of the story that you get to understand a little about the choices I've made in life, the kind of shows, how I've worked in Hollywood. You really get an understanding. At least I did, more so than I can mentally think of it. I understood a little bit about myself, strangely enough, watching how they put the life together. And very little of it in it is untrue. I mean, all of it is true, but the way they structured it, you can structure a story to be almost any way you want to be it when you have as much material as they had. And they did me proud, I have to say that. And I'm not ashamed of anything was there. There's certainly some things there that looking at it now, it gives me questions on what I think, why did I really make that decision? I actually understand myself just a tad more than I did before I saw the interview. I think people would be surprised at some of the stories and some of the connections that I have made in my life.
Tim, from appearances on the iconic shows like That's My Mama, What's Happening, The Richard Pryor Show, Benson, and pairing with Tim Dreesen to form the first biracial comedy team, how challenging was it for an African-American to break into the business?
Well, it was very difficult, and it still is for even the newcomers. Our business is, we forget, it is a very powerful business. I mean, it structures the perception of the world. And if you are trying to get in it, you got to understand that it's not an easy walk. Why do they want you in it? They want to tell the story as it suits, when I say they, the people who control it, the dominant culture wants to tell the story to benefit them. I mean, to make them feel comfortable. We see it in politics. We have people running for office, and whenever they tell stories about themselves, they tell it, of course, to win votes, to make them look good. So it's a very powerful medium. It shapes the perception of the world. And forget how real the world is or the reality of the world. Television, radio, all this entertainment shapes our view of the world. So one has to understand that that doesn't come easy. You have to fight. You have to struggle. You have to be prepared. You have to have skills. Yeah, a few people slip by who don't have any skills and they're just doing a life of selfies. But if you're going to have longevity, I've been in the business for 40 years. And if you're going to last in this business, you better have some skills. You better have passion. You better commit yourself to the career.
Now, finally, Tim, what other projects are you working on that we can look forward to from Mr. Tim Reid?
Well, I am blessed to have had a career that's spanned a few decades, and I hope to, as long as I'm breathing, to keep business. I mean, I'm keeping the business. I'm not one who's prone to retire. If I did, I'd make a job out of that. Right now, my whole mission, my whole focus is to give the millennials who are about to ready to change this world and usher in the 21st century, give them some information from the wisdom of the elders, the wisdom that was passed down to me, the stories, the cultural richness that we have available to us that's been ignored by media because it didn't serve their purpose, is to get that out so that they have some more information they can use to build a life, build character on. Because the stuff that we're getting now is such a rehash. I mean, you look at Facebook sometime and you see some of the stuff that people are posting, and I forget and going, my God, I'm back in the 1960s again. I'm back in the civil rights movement. And it's just people are using the same tactics, the same hatred. I'm going, no, I'm not going through this again. I went through this. I was part of the change. Why would I go back? We need something new. We want change. And I think that I want to be a part of change. So any young people or any millennial groups that are trying to bring in change, I'm with them. But I will not play the game that I know. I'm not going to repeat history. I know where it's going. It drives me insane. I'm not going to do it. So it's hard to do that in this world that we're so, I mean, why don't I just grab my cell phone and go rush out and try to find a Pokemon viral character like most of the nation's doing right now? How stupid is that? To be so caught up in the perception of life that you're going to live your world in a viral world, in something that's not even real. And your passion is going to be that. That tells you where we are as a people.
Tim, we want to thank you for stopping by Franky Ro in the news. We look forward to seeing what you have coming in the future.
Roshell, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it and enjoyed it.
That was Tim Reid, everybody. He will be appearing on Unsung Hollywood this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check your local listings and also check out the screen for more information.